Okay, here we go. We got to the part where he's explaining Tak Chik Rang Wang Chen, unchanging, unitary, and independent, or in control. So that will often come up in descriptions of what is emptiness, which they call no self-nature, for lower schools. And then you rarely get an explanation of what those three mean. So we're very lucky to be going through it now. So you'll use this paragraph for the rest of your life. You know, when you're explaining what schools mean by Tak Chik Rang Wang Chen, unchanging, singular, and in control. Okay, so you know, this is a chance to get the real poop. That's an English expression. It means the inside story. Yeah, but you have to be careful how you say it.
Quite.
Can put in the book.
It means the real truth.
Okay.
Straight dope will be fun.
Yeah. Okay. We won't gonna. So let's repeat the takpa. The takpa. What's the unchanging? Because we already did it, but let's repeat it. Okay. So they depa. Okay. These people believe, these schools, in the parts of a person, right, which are tak pengopo.
They're unchanging working things.
Yeah, and I repeat that the word ngopo is very difficult. Okay, this word here, ngopo. It can mean thing in general, or it can mean functioning thing. Here, it's the more precise meaning. It means a thing that does anything that does anything. And we said anything that does anything has to be changing, because when it does something, it has to move, it has to change. So then, you know, we have trouble with the idea of if God is unchanging, but creates things, then we have, for Buddhists, that's a little difficult. Okay. So takpa ngopo means, here takma means something which is doing something but which doesn't change. Okay. So Pumpo Kenjik Che Kyang, even though the parts of the person are coming in and out of existence, okay, the self or the soul is Kenjik Miche Pecho, is not coming in and out of existence. So then the soul becomes, or the self becomes an unchanging thing that does do something. Okay, and that's impossible. So when they say emptiness means the absence of an unchanging thing, they mean the absence of an unchanging functioning thing, which is impossible. So emptiness, it always means the absence of something which is impossible. Okay. Like a husband who's yelling at you who's not your fault. Okay. And by the way, seeing that the husband who's yelling at you is your fault would tend to prevent your anger. And then you would reach nirvana. And that's why seeing emptiness helps you reach nirvana. Okay. Okay, chashe mepe chikbu. Here's his definition of singular. So chikbu is more clearly singular. Chik means one, right? Or a one. But when you say chikbu, it means a solitary thing or a singular thing. Meaning, chashi me. What's chashe? Chashe means parts, okay? So notice that the S-H-A-S is not S-H-E-S, which is more common. S-H-E-S means mind or awareness. And this is much rarer, okay? But I'll just draw your attention to it, and let's do a statistical count, okay? Here's she, okay? I'm going to put a space in front of it. And then Beth's idea was cool. Let's just start another gopher. Okay, let's have a contest. Okay, and I'm going to put the raw form, okay? We're going to look through Sungbun.
Yeah, right.
Now I have to click on them at the same time.
Oh, that's okay.
which is not possible. Okay, we're going to click on this one. Find and find. So normally the type, what I want to prove to you is there's 214,000 250,000 SHES, and there's only 9,000 SHAS. Why am I showing you that? A typist in our center, their hand is used to SHES, and they might make a mistake because it's how many times more common? I don't know. It's 20 times more common.
8.
Something like that. 20, no?
No, yeah.
No, 9,000.
10,000 compared to 200,000. 10 compared to 20.
Yeah,
1 to 20.
20 times,
Yeah, it's 20 times more common. So they're gonna make a mistake here, but here they happen to do it correctly. So what does unitary mean?
It means that you think no one else can help you or does anything to
Chashin me.
affect you.
Chashin me. What's unitary?
Not made of parts.
Oh, not made apart.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Sorry.
parts. Okay, something which can exist and doesn't have parts. Which means the left side would have to be the right side. Okay? That gets difficult.
So the Meipa has no parts?
Yeah. Solid, singular
Means has
in
no
the
parts.
sense of having no parts. Okay? So never forget. You know, you guys have been learning the 6 flavors of emptiness for 20 years or something. I think I translated it. I remember it was in John Brady's house. So that's before he lost his apartment because he sold it to pay for the computer project. He used to have a very expensive penthouse in Central Park, most expensive place in New York, and he sold it to pay for the debts of this project. Okay. Now he rents, he doesn't have a house. I told Dr. Wu he should buy him a house. He's thinking about it. When he gets married, which is, they're all thinking about that. Okay. Pumbo sok lam te pe rawan chen. Rawan chen, meaning there's a mistake here. You tell me what it is. There's a carving error. Pumbo sok lam te. I'll give you a clue. 2 words have been smushed together.
Oh.
Oh.
Lama.
La mata.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta fix it. Okay. So not only you have to translate it, you have to know what it means and fix it before you figure out what it means.
You found
How
the
you
scan
feel? You look
yesterday.
better. Your
Yeah,
cold's
good.
better.
Yeah.
Good. That's why I
Thank you.
only teach young people. Okay.
Oh,
We found the scan, so I
can you put the mic on your...
Oh, sorry. Okay. You were recording my. My foot's very quiet. Okay. Good. Pumbo sokla matapa. This tapa means temba, B-R-T-E-N.
turned down.
Yeah, to depend on. By the way, it's probably related to look, tawa, which means, you know, I look to him for help. You see, I rely on him for help. So it's a related word. Okay. Pumbala sopa la mata perangchen. It is independent because it doesn't depend on the pumbos.
Doesn't depend on the parts.
Yeah, on its parts. The person doesn't depend on their arm, their eye, their mind, their feelings. Okay. Now that's different from the guy in the crane, running the guy who runs the car. Okay, that's how I classically explain it. Okay, and if you go to the great Druptas, like Chang Kya Rupa Dorje, 3 volumes, 3,000 pages, he has 100 different Rangwanchan. But this is how your author is taking it. Choni Lama?
Yep.
Yeah, and normally he's really good, and I think he's probably good. Rangwanchan ki Kecha Sum. Kecha means a feature possessed by a keishi, which means the possessor of the feature. The keishi is the cup, the keicha is being plastic, looking orange, okay? So keishi means like chechen, and the che, or the quality, is called keicha, Okay, so kecha sumdan den means this self that they accept has these three qualities. Dak chik rawangchen. Okay?
I'm sorry, is that a GZHI? That Keishi?
Yeah, GZHI. So kechu is as opposed to keshi.
Uh-huh.
Keshis have kechus.
Yeah.
Chuchens have chus.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yeah.
Same thing. And sometimes the chu, anyway, I'm not going to go there. It's so fun to overwhelm you guys. Kecha sumdan dember dipani, to believe in that, a self which has those three qualities. Chiro ba normally, how's the scan look?
I'm not placing in the scan yet, so I might need help with that if you want to know. Let's see, this is the top. Where are we exactly?
I think Ben's got it.
Great. I didn't take a
It's a
look.
pretty rough,
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
it's a pretty tough scan. It's a pretty tough carving.
This is GA13 one.
Okay, we're down here somewhere.
Oh, the magnifying glass.
Dipani, it's that, okay.
Okay.
Is that a, can you blow it up?
Absolutely.
I think it's a pa, okay.
Okay, it is.
So it's chiropa. Okay. Although wa is not like impossible. Okay. Chiropa namla kepamela. And I'm going to need the scan again.
Absolutely.
People who are outside of Buddhism don't believe this.
If it had said chiropa nam dan kepame, it would mean these guys are no different from the non-Buddhists. But the law changes the meaning, chiropa namla. There's no difference among the... wow, okay, I don't know. Let me see the last sentence. See if it Oh, okay. This means among the non-Buddhists, there's no difference. They do believe in this, okay? Among the non-Buddhists, there's no difference about these three. That the self should have these three qualities. The non-Buddhist he's talking about. Now, this gets difficult, and I thought it was a carving error, but it's not. So, se soki kepar dutso mindawa mango. Mango, okay, not mange. Okay, I corrected it here. There are many mindawa, dissimilar meaning different. There are many different. This is literally dissimilar, right? Not similar. Positions, dutso, literally acceptance methods. Okay, positions between these schools about the tse. And I wouldn't expect this word here. I mean, you can translate it. I can't think of anything else that would have been. The carving is obviously tse. So tse, you know tsema.
Oh, measure.
Yeah, so its dimensions or its size or, how big is it or what is it, what is its dimensions or something like that. So it's kind of a weird thing to say here, but maybe it means, is it universal or is it planetary or, okay, they disagree. So they're all agree about those three qualities of the self, but they disagree on its relative size. And I've never heard that, and I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, but I guess there are Hindu schools which believe the self runs the whole universe, is as big as the universe, or maybe the self is as big as Beijing. So that's all I can guess. Okay. And if you really were bothered by it, I'll tell you what you would do, and it's not a very fruitful search. Okay, the odds of hitting something are not too high. You could look for independent near tse. Say about 6 lines apart. And you could maybe restrict yourself to Majjhimika. Which, well, let's not do that. Let's see what you hit otherwise, okay?
Yeah, because it could be parts of topic.
I didn't hit anything because I didn't tell it to look anywhere. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. You know, so that's 41 matches. You can spend, you know, you just have to make a decision on your translation, you know. Are you going to put out 1 book every 3 years? And that's okay, you know.
For me, that sounds prolific.
Yeah.
Well, compared to the last
30
30 years.
A lot.
For a normal person, that's pretty
Well, we're on a schedule. I mean, Dr. Wu wants to see some. We gotta, you know, if you want to have a sponsor, you're gonna have to kick out some stuff here.
I would help saying anyway.
And I kind of like that pressure because
Yeah, we gotta get it done.
we have 10,000 books to do, and
Sure.
you know.
If we each do one a year.
Pick little ones.
Right, sure. Next.
Okay, this say measure near independent means their estimation of what it is to be wrong view.
Oh, wow.
Estimation. Like this is wrong view, but this is not wrong view. You know? How far do you have to go to be wrong view? So, if it were the same author in a different book, that would be interesting. It's not.
Right.
Okay. This is Lama Belden, who wrote the Tantric Levels and Path. So, I don't know. Now let's see if anybody else. By the way, if we see Tsema, it's not what we want.
All right.
We're 25 hits through the 41.
Have you seen a lot of semas?
Sorry?
Have you seen a lot of semas in this search result?
I've skipped all the Tsemas because
But
we're
I'm
only.
just wondering if you saw a lot. Because if we have the
Yeah,
top,
I'd say
then we could-
75% of them are Tsema.
Okay.
You
If
could,
they're not,
yeah, if we had a third
then
box,
boom.
we could say, I don't want Tsema.
When we have the not.
Oh, we don't have that in there?
There, like the elevator close button is not hooked up in.
Yeah. Across the street.
Now, this refers to the. Now, here's an interesting discussion, okay? This is Takchik Rama Chen, okay? Kikang Sak. Then, Lola Nöche Jitabushena, why does this contradict what we can observe with our own eyes? Jikten Gikam Gitse, misspelled, okay? Dunkone Sungba, according to the Kala Chakra, the extent of the world, the breadth of the world. What's the measurement of this planet? Jishin Betangopola New Ngena Liu Dijikting Bakse Bumtak is described in this chapter. So that means extent. So that would kind of, you know, but it's not referring to the dot. Although it's in the same sentence.
And it's a tenant text.
So I would take it, you know, we're not going to get anywhere here. So, as predicted, I would say its extent and let the reader worry about it. Okay? Okay. You know, meaning what is that doc and what is not that doc. Okay? What is the extent of that doc? And he doesn't clarify any greater than that. I'm waking up the Romanians. Whoa, Octavian. Rangde Sangepa, okay, Sangepa, Namki, Dakte rangi pumbo dang chikam tade takam mita kanyen chepana. So all of that we had so far was in reference to non-Buddhists examining whether the soul or the self is the parts of a person or is separate from the parts of a person, and is it changing or is it unchanging? It was all phrased in that. And now, Rangde Sangyepanam, talking about people whose own view is the Buddhist view. Rangde means whose own group is the Buddhist groups, okay? Sangye, those who believe in Buddhism, okay? Takte Rangi Pumbodan Chikam Tade, when they examine Chepana, okay? Second line. When they examine whether this self is the parts or is separate from the parts, or is changing or unchanging, when they examine the same questions, same two questions, Pumbo Mitakpe, since the parts of a person are changing, Dakya Mitak.
The self also is changing.
Yeah, the self should also be changing, okay? If Bats is made up of changing things, then Bats should be changing, okay? If the car is made of parts that change, the car should be changing, okay? And Pumbale Dun Shenbe Dak Yepala Rikbe Ne. And the idea that there should exist a self, Dak, which is Dun Shen, which is a separate entity from the parts, okay? Rikbe Ne is, okay, let's talk about Ne, okay? Gnod, okay? In normal Tibetan, it means to injure somebody.
Right.
Injure?
Is nay like crucial part?
No, that's without our naro, without the naro.
Yeah, well, I'll say maybe it's related because it's like.
Oh, maybe. What's that called? Shenu Shidan Chepale. Definition of Vinaya by Jetsun Kappa in your book.
Yeah.
In your book, the poem. Shenu Shidan Chepa. To injure other people. It's the definition of those 10 bad deeds. To injure other people. Or the basis of that injury, which means anger. Okay, so that's one of the most famous uses of this word is in your book. It means to injure other people, okay? But in logic, it has a different meaning. It means injures that idea. Okay, Nick says, all the coffee they're making here is really good. And then I say, taste this. And then it injures his idea. You see, or we can say it, Rikpe Ne here means is contradicted by logic. Or that idea is, how do you say? It's not as strong as disproof. It's thrown into question. Okay, thrown into question. Okay, it means the statement becomes questionable.
You've used contradicted a lot.
Yeah. Huh?
I think you've used contradicted a lot.
Yeah, maybe contradict. Okay, it's contradicted by logic. What? The idea that there could exist a self, which is, what did I say?
Other than
Not that easy. Which is a separate entity. Okay.
oh right, not
Okay.
the essential.
Okay. Then yeah.
But
Okay. Tongne, because they recognize this fact, because they can see this fact. Okay, that the idea that the self, which is not related to its parts, is questionable because it's thrown into question, or because logic throws that into question and makes that idea untenable. Okay, pumbong nga ngapo kangrung dan chikin be dak shik nepa yu gun nyamte. They think to themselves, nyam, okay, very important verb. Okay, they think to themselves. Normally, it's a doubt. When Jetson Kappa says nyamam, he's like, I believe it's that, meaning mayengang. It might not be that, okay? But here I take it as they are sure. They think to themselves what? There must be, definitely, ngepar.
Yeah.
There must be good, must you be definitely. There must definitely be a self, dark, okay, which is one and the same, okay, as either. Now you got this either here, okay. It's one and the same as either pumbonga or ngapo kangrun.
5 hearts.
All 5
Oh,
heaps or any one of those heaps, but now you know kangrun means
any number of.
yeah, any one or more. Okay, so either the self is
I see.
how do you say? Either the self consists of all 5 heaps, or it consists of any one or more of the 5 heaps. That's how you have to translate it. Yeah. Could be 1, could be 2, could be 3. Okay, but not 5, because that's already covered.
Right.
Any 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay. Good luck.
I take that as a blessing.
Dang Chik, don't forget. Yeah, you can say identical here, maybe. Okay.
Sure. Straight out of your text.
Now, this is nice because you're kind of getting a Druptas presentation here. A comparison of different schools. Chedama by Bashikas.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I don't have the school names in my head.
Chedama, detailists. Kachik, some of them. Okay. Pumbunga Reredang,
Each one of
the 5 parts of a person. I don't call them heaps anymore. I call them 5 parts of a person, because just heaps just sounds.
It's kind of dated. Like
Sometimes heap means a big poo-poo. So it's not a, you know, it's not a great word in English.
yeah.
That's a steaming heat.
But yeah, but by the way, when you get to the Abhidharma, that is the classical explanation of why we call it heap. Pungdang kego riki gun, pungdang kego riki go, pungdang kego riki dun, pumbo keji kamnang yin. Very famous. Why do we say heap? Because many things are piled up. That's your first chapter. Is gonna say that. Okay, so anyway, otherwise I would say parts of a person. You know, it's up to you. How technical do you want to get? 5 parts of a person. Individually, okay, or all together. Ngai tsopa, all 5 together. And their flow. So Tsokpa and Gyun, sorry, are the most famous reference is Shantideva, okay, Master Shantideva, and he talks about a forest, or and a rosary, or an army. It means composed of parts in one moment. Is one meaning of has parts. But you can also say over time, a thing has parts. My mind yesterday, my mind tomorrow, my mind today. You can have parts over time, or you can have parts in one moment. Okay, so he's hitting it here. The 5, either the 5 heaps one by one, or the tsok, the conglomeration of all 5 heaps in a moment, or their gin, or their stream their flow over time. Okay. The Chiramawas say any one of those, okay, or a number of those three ideas, okay, any one or more of those three ideas is the dot, is the person. Sorry, is the person. Okay. So who is Bets? Bets is all the moments of Bets from the day she was born up to the day she passed away. You know, if she passed away. So, okay, that's Bets. They will say, okay. Or what is Bets? Bets is Bets' arm, Bets' mind, Bets' eyes in this moment. Okay, got it? Okay. Or Bets is Bets' mind. You know, somebody will say that. Okay. The Semtsampas, the mind-only school, has a different idea of what is Bets, or Utpala. I knew her before she became a nun, so it's hard for me. Semtsampe Kunshi Number Shepa. So this is very beautiful. The mind-only school says, when you boil it down, where is Utpala? It's the part of her mind where she plants her karmic seeds, which is called the alaya vijnana, okay? Foundation consciousness, or something like that, okay? All right? That's Bets. Sorry, that's Utpala. Okay? Where's Utpala? It's the part of her mind where she plants her seeds, and that's Utpala. Okay?
So you're saying the part where she plants her seeds, that's all in Kunshi?
Oh, Kunchi no Kashiba.
Say again, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to find out where the plant.
Oh, I'm just glossing Kunshi for you.
That's all.
Kunshi number Shepa. You can count it as the 7th or the 8th consciousness, okay? Which is not accepted by other schools. Okay? That's, when you boil it down, that's who Utpala is. She is the bank of her seeds. The bank deposit, okay? That's who she is, you know, okay? And it's not crazy.
No. Although mine is.
And the Rangyupas, the lower middle way school, and the Dodepas, and so the school number 4A and school number 2 agree on something. They say, because what's school number 3? Mine only. What's school number 1?
The detail.
Yeah, we covered those two already. So all that's left is middle way and second school, South Trantica. So all of the second school and half of the fourth school, lower half, they say Utpala is her series like, oh, I'm so happy, is her awareness of her mind. Okay.
Sheni?
Namshi.
Yiki number Shepa.
Yeah.
Because you also have Miki number Shepa, right? You have awareness of what you're seeing. Not that one. Awareness of your own mind.
Oh,
That's Utpala.
does that make that distinction so it's clear that you're not referring to the consciousness that is called thoughts or something?
Oh, you can say consciousness. Consciousness of your...
Or, I mean the consciousness skanda, is that what you mean?
Yi is namshe of the previous millisecond.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's Abhidharma. See, everything is founded on Stanley. Okay? Okay?
Stanley.
You see blue, but at that moment you can't think, I'm seeing blue. Then the next millisecond, I'm seeing blue. I see blue. First blue, consciousness of blue, and then consciousness, I'm seeing blue. They go like boom, boom, boom. So actually the object of the mental consciousness is the thing of the millisecond before, according to Abhidharma. Okay? And according to those 1.5 schools, that's Utpala. That's her self. Okay? That's her real self. The witness. The mind that's watching the mind is, and it makes sense, right? Yeah. She's the deep one. She's the one watching everything else. That's who she is, okay?
The ni here?
We're getting there. Only that. Namshenyi. Yiki namshenyi. Only that one of how many consciousnesses? Six.
According to them,
Six in this school. Good. Okay. If we had been in the last school, it would have been 8. Okay. Now we have to discuss the word senshi. Okay. And you should learn it. Extremely important. Senshi, right here. It has an R on it. Cut the R off, okay? Cut the R off, okay? Senshi. Okay? It means classic example. Normally. Okay, what's the senshi of a changing thing? In Buddhism. Sound. Okay, like that. If you say, what's the most classic example of this thing that you can give? Okay, it means the classic example, normally. So it goes with the word senyi. Okay, senyi means the definition, and senshi means something which exhibits that definition. Okay. And normally when you give a definition, then you follow it with, okay, here's a senshi. Okay, here's the definition of changing, and the senshi is sound. A good example is sound. Classic example is sound. Okay, but here it means they believe that is the classic expression of the self. Okay, what? Her awareness of her thoughts, or her awareness of her consciousness, or her foundation consciousness, or the flow or the conglomeration of her parts, or some one of her parts. Okay. De tabu la gongne, and with this fact in mind, meaning the last paragraph, with this fact in mind, the Jukpa says, Avatara says, the Avatara says, Ngachar Yangde, some people say it's all 5, and some say it's only the mind. Okay? Ngacha means all 5. Ngachar means believe it to be all 5. De is belief, it's distributed. The yang means some, blah, 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 and some, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you just have to know. Okay, some people say all 5, some people say just the one. Okay, and he says, why did he throw this quotation in here?
Because you just said 5, or
Why would you use a quotation after you had?
Statement.
Yeah, he's using Lung and Rig. He decided to go to Lung.
Yeah.
He said, of course this idea is correct because Jukpa says it. Avatar. Which avatar? There's 2 famous avatars. Yeah, Madhyamaka avatar. Going into the middle way, entering the middle way, or
Bodhisattvacharya.
Bodhisattvacharya avatara, entering the way of life of a bodhisattva.
'Cause it could be
Now, how would you find out which Jukpa?
Search.
You know, you're going to have to search it anyway because in our system, in our translation school, which is so far called Unreasonable Happiness. No, what is it called? Unreasonably Happy. I still think it's a pretty cool name for a band. In our little group, we ain't going to be satisfied with a quotation. We're going to go find it and make sure it says that. Okay? And we're going to check what it said before and what it said after. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're not just going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, nice quotation, man. Yeah,
It's very American.
that's a good jukpa. You know? So there are lazy translators who will just say, oh, jukpa says,
Yeah, right.
you know.
Entering.
We want to go see. We want to go see which jukpa. And we want to make sure the quotation is correct. And if we have time, which we never do, but we're going to We're going to check what he said before and what he said after. And if you really want to waste time, you might go check a few commentaries to make sure they agree that that's what he's talking about.
Cool.
Kesha, does it apply to all the quotations in
Yeah.
the book?
Yeah. I'm tough. I want, why? A lot of quotations they heard in the debate ground. And they're like, I think the guy said, you know. And so we want to go check. We want to go confirm. So give me a unique piece, okay? We're not going to search for de. Because okay, I'll tell you why. I'm just going to repeat, okay? De. Okay. In the Tengyur, right?
Well, we're going to go into, we can go more refined than that, right?
What I'm saying is, don't search for the word and. Okay? You're going to be there for the rest of your life. Okay? Here.
Wow.
There's 111,000 does. It's not a good word to look for. If you have a couple months to go through those. Okay, so give me
Whole time.
Not trying.
let's do Ngacha Yang De. Okay. Okay. And by the way, why didn't he say which jukbop? He assumes you've memorized them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will
And
know as soon as I read it.
Especially.
Oh, can we
what's that?
can we refine the search to?
Well,
Just-
here we got it.
Oh, very good.
Okay, it's in the red.
1 of 3. Wow.
Is it the same three texts for all Gelug monasteries, Geslo, or is it just Sarah that has that Sasum, the Madhumika Vatara, obviously?
Most Gelugpa monasteries work on those three. Yeah.
Let's see.
I've heard the question.
Okay. Kachik, Semchik, no.
The,
Mm,
Oh, there it is.
what? Didn't say what text for
Here's the context. Pumbol Nation Dangdu Meimechi, because there exists no self separate from the parts. Dakte Mikpa Pumba Kono. The only object of the view that there is a self should be the heaps. Kachik Date Tendu Pumboni. Some people say the object, the heaps, which are the object of believing in a self, are all 5. Some say it's only the mind. Kelte Pumbo Dagna Decherde, if the heaps individually were the self, then because the heaps are multiple, the self would also have to be multiple. If each part of bets were bets, utpala, then there would be 5 utpalas.
right.
Okay, and then he goes like that. So it's a good quotation. I believe you. Make a note of the folio, which is 210B. Okay, 210B. And you know, if you're in a class like this, and you can just say Tengyur 3861. Okay, Tengyur 3861. And because so far we haven't had time or money or staff to translate the names of all the titles for the Tengyur. Okay. If we had more funding, we could. So then if you want to go get 3861, you go to the Tohoku. And here's it. Okay. It's Madhyamaka Avatar, written by Chandrakirti. A means author. Okay. The 6th entry is the author. Unfortunately, the diacritics didn't stick. It's Chandrakirti. Okay, so you're going to have to fix those. That's another story.
You could
Okay.
also fix them?
Well, I'll be honest. Most of everything you're going to hit is in Gombarab cell, and I've already done it. So you can just chop out my bibliography entries and save yourself like a month. Okay.
But you want diacritics in our books?
I do. And we'll talk about that.
In footnotes.
only in the bibliography. Okay. Okay. And that's just to show off that you know Sanskrit.
To the winners.
Yeah, to the three professors who are studying who are trying to find a mistake in your book. Okay, they're not reading it; they're just trying to find a mistake.
I know there's a group out there who's waiting to rip it apart.
Yeah, and by the way, someone criticizes you, tell them to go to hell. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm glad you read the book.
Okay.
May it plant a seed in your mind.
If they show you an error, thank them.
Yeah.
If they're just complaining, then tell them go. Life's too short to struggle with other people. Okay? I'm not going to change. I'm a nun. I'm translating Chandakirti. I love you. Just shut up. Okay? Just don't get into the squabbling with scholars, okay? Because you can waste your whole life and you will die. And it won't help you. Okay. Nga cha yang de kajik semchik de. Okay. Jukpe namshe lekyang, the explanation of the jukpa. Okay. Which one? Sometimes namshe means the auto commentary. No, the auto commentary by Chandakirti.
Yeah.
But we'll have to go confirm it. It could be Jayananda. We'll go see. Okay.
Why is the kyung there? But is it but?
Let me smoke this for a minute.
Aside from, or even more than.
Okay, this is tough, but I was chewing on it a couple days ago. Rangi Depa Namki, our own schools, meaning Buddhist and not non-Buddhist, okay? They also believe that, okay, they think to themselves, nyam, that there cannot be a self, okay, a soul, which doesn't consist of the parts of a person. Okay, there are schools of our own which think to themselves that the dak, the self, cannot be something other than the parts. Okay, and mistakenly. Okay, trupe. Okay, this is tough. True means to be mistaken. Not to be mistaken with true with a PH.
Means emanation.
Or which can mean machine. True core. yeah, okay. Which means a miraculous emanating. Okay, see. So so they think there cannot be a soul which is separate from the parts. And so mistakenly, they say it must be the parts. Okay, it must be just the parts. They think there's two options only. Either Utpala is separate from her parts, or Utpala is her parts. Okay, mistakenly they think there's only the second option. Pumbotsam means nothing more than the parts of Utpala is Utpala. Okay, Utpala is her arm, her mind. Okay, this is very subtle. Okay, either she's not connected to her parts, and when her parts dissolve and she dies, her soul goes off somewhere independent of her parts, because it always has been the spark in her, which never was dependent on her parts. Mm-hmm. And then they think, well, if we deny that, we have to go to this place, which is Utpala is her head, is her arm, is her legs, is her, okay? Yeah. Now a question for you. Is a car the parts of the car, or separate?
It is the parts of the car.
No, it's not. You can have all the parts of a car and you don't have cars.
Wrong
Well, if you
question.
include the
You say wrong
if
question.
you
Keep going.
If you include the opening of the seed,
Good, good. Keep going.
You put on top of the parts.
Yeah,
then it is
okay.
as one of the parts.
In the highest schools of Buddhism, the parts of a car are not the car until your karma opens and a picture comes out, car, and glues onto that thing. Then you have a whole car. The final part of the car must always be the karmic seed come out and join them all together. Okay? The picture unifies the parts. That's all the parts of a car, and that's a car. Okay, but if you leave out the last part, the picture coming out, then you could be a bug climbing out a car and it looks like a mountain. Okay? It depends on which picture comes out, makes the thing. Okay? That's why we say, Yinjin, kindness is the basis of reality. Kindness is the foundation of reality. You must give rides to people who need rides to see cars. Okay? It's so beautiful. You know, just try to feel it. Okay? What makes reality reality is kindness to other people. It's not atoms. Okay? It's not gravitational forces. It's kindness. It's so cool. It's so cool. Okay? So, but these Buddhists are lesser Buddhists. Okay? And these are the 99% of Buddhist teachers who go around saying, oh, you know, the parts of the car are not the car. You know, I said that once to a 6-year-old child, and she looked at me and she said, well, yes, they are. And I was like, Katie, Gyaltsab J with the cow poop, you know. I was like, man, she's right, you know. Okay, this is Chuni's last daughter. When she was 6 years old, she just looked at me and said, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. Okay, got it? Okay, here we go.
Can I ask you that you said the self cannot be something other than the parts, and so mistakenly say it must be the parts.
Yeah.
Where's the must?
They accept, Kelang, Kelem. They accept that it must be the parts. Thinking there's no other choice, mistakenly thinking that there's no other choice, they believe, Kelang, that Utpala is nothing other than her parts. Okay. Deni karung shitu kelang gu nyam tu sambo, because they think to themselves, it must be one of the two. It's got to be one of those two options. Deni karung shik means one of those two options. Kelang gu, you must accept one of those two options.
Oh,
You
there's
know,
the good.
Utpala Utpala, the person called Utpala, is either unrelated to her parts or she is her parts. And they don't understand the thing that Nick said about the karmic seed opening and the final part being the image coming from your kindness. Okay, got it?
Are you talking about the self or the being?
Dark. It's all dark. They're trying to decide who is Utpala, the person. The person, okay, the self. Yeah, in this case it means the self, Utpala. Okay, it doesn't mean the non-existing self. Huh?
The real self, are they saying?
Yeah, the one which exists. Okay, important idea because Professor Stanley brought it up. Say yu gyu dak. I'll spell it for you right here, okay? Let's do it like this. Yu gyu dak and me gyu dak. Yu gyu dak and me gyu dak. Extremely important idea in Buddhism. Yu gyu dak and me gyu dak. Okay? Yu gyu dak and me gyu dak. Sorry, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta send my honey bun.
I'm gonna do that too.
Everyone writes.
just so I can stay here. Okay. Yu gyu dak, it's an idiom, okay? This gyu normally means cause,
Yeah.
but in this expression, it just means which is, okay? The self which does exist, as opposed to the self which doesn't exist, okay?
Right.
Does a Stanley exist who is a picture coming out of Stanley's mind because Stanley was nice to somebody that goes out on his parts? Does that Stanley exist?
Yes.
Yes. Does a Stanley exist which is after Stanley's parts go away, is going to fly to Amitabha's heaven as a little silver ball? We say no, okay? Does a Stanley exist which is Stanley's ear?
No.
One of his parts. No, okay? Okay? Those two are Megyu-dak. Okay, some silver ball that goes to Amitabha's heaven. Or Stanley, which is Stanley's ear, and, wears a tie. Okay, here. Okay, like that. So is he his parts? No. Is he both his ears? No. Is he some like little silver ball that doesn't depend on his parts? No. Those are Megyu-dak. That's the self which is not there. What's the Yu-gyu-dak? By the way, that self is the same as the Gakcha. Megyu-dak, the Stanley who doesn't exist, is what emptiness is empty of. Okay?
And you could say it's a just an exact synonym for the gakcha,
No, because there's also the Gakcha of his parts.
right?
So you have to say Kansaki Daki Gakcha. Okay? And Yu-gyu-dak is the Stanley that does exist, which is the one, which is his parts with the final part of him perceiving himself as Stanley. And if that's a pleasant perception, which it is because he's so handsome, that's a result of good karma. Okay? And if you're depressed about yourself or you have low self-esteem as a result of bad karma. Okay, got it? All right. So don't forget those two words.
Can I ask Krishna about Nyam Dusampa?
Nyam and Nyam Dusamba, synonym, same.
Same.
They
So
think to
why
themselves.
They put them together?
Don't forget, this is a translation from Sanskrit. Okay, it's messy. Okay.
So I would just say they think.
Yeah, they think to themselves, we have to accept. Kelang ge nyam disam. You might say, well, if you want to be super literal, you can say they think to themselves the following, and then you put it in a quotation mark, and you have nyam disam. It's more, instead of saying they think blah blah blah, they think to themselves, quote, that's more nyam disam. Nyam is they think.
Right.
Nyam disam is more like they think to themselves and then put it in quotation mark. If you want to be sticky. Yeah?
Yeah, we're 5 minutes over.
If you want to be too literal.
Well, I want to throw in the next sentence, okay?
Yeah.
The consequence school.
For us to really, what he said was, these Buddhist schools, they look at what the non-Buddhists say and they say that's wrong. That there could be a little silver ball Stanley that doesn't depend on his body and his mind, okay? Goes to heaven when he dies, okay? So these Buddhist schools say, well, if Stanley's not separate from his parts, then he must be his parts, okay? Without the luminous image, okay? Okay, without the luminous image. They say that. What would our author responsibly do next?
Prove that.
Yeah, he would talk about what Nick talked about. Our author should take us to Prasangika and say, here's how we resolve this problem. It's not true that either or. It's not true that there's a Stanley who floats around independent of his parts, which is sort of a Christian idea. And it's not true that Stanley is his parts, because that's not the only two options. He should go to the Prasangika viewpoint, and he does. What's the first words of the next sentence? The Prasangika say, okay, You want to do it?
Nick doesn't have a heart attack.
No,
Min de.
I want to hear this.
Okay? Yeah, in case we die tonight, we should finish this sentence, which is the way a Buddhist should think, because it's true. They don't accept, okay? Min de. They don't accept either of the two, either option. Pumbu le dunshen be dark silver ball, okay? A self which is not related to the parts, okay?
Yeah.
But they also don't accept that the parts themselves are the self, okay? But even though they don't accept that, they accept that the self is the me which is inserted on the parts, which means the luminous image
Right.
that came out of a karma, okay? Pumbo la takpa means, takpa is an old watch. I don't know. I will takpa this cord to my finger. You see, it means to apply it to my finger. Okay. Pumbo la takpa means hang it on, or apply it to, or stick it on. I stick it. You can say impute. How many? Go try it with a waiter. I'm imputing you. He said, don't hire your lawyer. I didn't do anything. Okay. The ngatsam means that the simple I, the simple me, the simple Nick, which is applied or glued onto the parts, meaning the mental image that comes out of the karma. Okay? Shedo, that's what they believe. Okay? And that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So what he's describing is that most Buddhist schools are in this quandary. If there's no little shining silver ball Stanley soul, then Stanley must be his parts. But that also doesn't work. He's not his ear, and Stanley is not the sum of his parts until the karma glues it together. So this ngatsam dak means the image of me, the idea of me, comes out of a karma and is glued onto those parts. And that's me. That's the person. Whew.
Wow.
Yay. Okay.
Sashi
Buki Joshin Meto Chao Rira Binshin Yambadi Sangye Shindu Tewargi Jokunam Dakshina Chaparsho Inam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamheya Dayami Di Ewokun Sanam Yeshe Tzozo Shin Sanam Yeshe Mechuwe Dabar Kunito Parsho. I don't know where he's going to go from here. I mean, he already finished the book.
Yeah, one more sentence.
I was just gonna say
Too many
Yeah.
notes.
that ends it.
By the way, you have to go back and confirm this quotation, right?
Yes, I do.
And which Namshe is it? It might be Jayananda's commentary, it might be Chandrakirti's auto commentary.